Northern Alliance Radio Network. 651-289-4488, the number to call. Join us, won't you please? Brad Carlson and Mitch Berg live at the Washington County Fair. We'd love to have you join us out here at the booth. We are at the Washington County Fairgrounds, which, if you've never been out here, and I've only been out here once, is just east of Lake Elmo town proper, which I didn't even know existed until this time last year. We did the fair the first time.
Town proper, eh?
The actual town. There is a town of Lake Elmo, as my kids used to call it, Elmo Lake.
As in Tickle Me Elmo Lake?
Tickle Me Elmo Lake. Okay. That's right. They were that age when we first came out to the lake proper. So, at any rate, we are here. We'd love to have you join us. We're by the A building. If you come in the south exit, you'll see the big A building, big pole barn. We'd love to have you join us here. Now, earlier we talked with Karin Housley, who's running in the primary in District 39. The other half of the Republican primary race going on August 14th is with us here now. Joining us from the Washington County Fair, Eric Langness joins us. Eric, welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad to have you here. Now, you are running in District 39. Tell us a little bit about something. Tell us a little something about yourself before we talk about the primary race and your candidacy.
Sure, I'm a longtime Republican activist. I used to be the deputy chair of Senate District 52, which is Vanderveer and Bachman before that.
That's right.
I'm the 6th District vice chairman.
Okay.
Currently, which is Bachman's congressional district.
But did you take a wrong turn?
I think she's pretty good congresswoman.
No, she's great. You're just in the middle of the 4th district here. No, your district didn't get slipped into the 4th, did it?
No, 39 is actually in 3 congressional districts.
Right.
It goes all the way up to the 8th congressional district.
Forgot about that.
That's right. Oh, wow.
It's through the 6th,
Okay.
which is where I live, and then it goes down to St. Mary's Point at the very southern tip.
In the 4th. Okay. Yeah. I'm so buried in the middle of the 4th. I've given up all hope.
I've been at the Republican booth for 12 hours every day at the fair here, and I don't know that I found one person that's figured out all these lines these judges drew.
I do this for a geek hobby, and I still haven't figured it out. So tell us a little bit something about yourself outside of politics briefly before we get into the nitty-gritty here, Eric Langness.
Well, in my professional life, I'm the director of career services at a for-profit college.
Okay. All right, so good. So you know your way around the education business, obviously important in a place like this. So you seem like a fairly sane, sensible person. What on earth prompted you to run for office?
Well, it was rather interesting. On the very last day of filing, I was monitoring all the stuff coming in, and Senator Vanderveer dropped out on the last day with only hours to go.
That's right.
And I knew that we needed a Republican on the ballot because this is a Republican territory out here. I heard you with Stacey Stout, and you said that this feels Republican. I heard you said it smells Republican. I think it feels Republican out here.
Yeah.
Now you were on the a little bit of your background. You served some time on the Forest Lake School Board. Is that correct?
4 years on the board.
What can you take away from that experience that you're going to bring to your campaign, Eric Langness?
Well, school boards in general are run by Democrats,
right?
Unfortunately, even in Republican areas like the Forest Lake.
So how did you get on? That's
I ran a hard campaign, and I worked very hard, and I gave a message. But more importantly, once I got on the board, I acted like a conservative, and I did the things that I said, and that's exactly what I'm going to do as a senator.
So you're running for Senate in District 39, primary coming up on August 14th. As you walk around the district, I'm assuming you're campaigning around the district like everyone else. What are you hearing? What are people most concerned about? What is it that they want you to take to St. Paul should you win the nomination and then the election?
Well, with the exception of Matamidi, I'm hearing, or not Matamidi, but Grant in the Matamidi School District, I'm constantly hearing that they're building this school on a dump site, and it's toxic and potentially will give kids cancer. But aside from that, what I'm hearing from voters is jobs, education, and healthcare. And I told you I've worked at a college for almost the last 9 years. I served on a school board that hits the education. It's a healthcare college. I've worked in healthcare since I was 15 in a nursing home, worked as an x-ray and ultrasound tech. I know the ins and outs of healthcare. And then the last piece is jobs, and in my professional life I talk to employers and my graduates, and we have 33 campuses around the country, and I try to make sure each and every one of our graduates is employed. And a little fact, in all of that time, I've never heard an employer come and tell me I have an opening because of something government did. But I do hear I have no opening because of something government did. Or I hear a graduate come back, I got laid off because of something government did. And I'm tired of hearing it. And I think we need to change the direction of the state and frankly this country. But I'm willing to do the state. I'm not running for Congress.
Obviously, it's a week and a half up until the big primary, Tuesday, August 14th. I want to make sure everybody has that date on their calendar. So what's that dynamic like? I mean, you obviously are working hard out here 12 hours a day, like you said, to work up to the primary and then to go through the primary. And then if you do win the primary, then you have to get geared back up for a general election. So you kind of pretty much blocking out a lot of time on your calendar, because campaigning in and of itself, Eric Langness, sounds like a full-time job.
Campaigning is almost a full-time job, and luckily I'm fortunate enough to have many volunteers on the campaign that are working through. We've been focused on the primary to this point, but I'm excited after this primary is over that we can turn around and start battling former Representative Bunn. And she campaigns like a moderate, and she voted like a liberal, and this is not liberal territory, and I'm excited to get to that point. And so the 12 hours daily here and then doing events after each one of these and getting almost no sleep, it's worth it, because that passion of post-primary is just going to be a wild time.
Which Eric Langness is running in the primary for the Republican endorsement in District 39 to run in the Senate to replace Ray Vanderveer, and then up against Julie Bunn this coming fall, November 6th in the election. Now, you mentioned Julie Bunn, former Bungee State representative, in and out, career politician. How receptive are people sounding to Ms. Bunn here in 39?
Well, I've actually tried to make it a point to go over to the DFL booth here and ask for her, and several times a day I can't find her, and they keep telling me she's here or she's been here, but she's nowhere to be found. I've never actually met the gal.
It's one thing I love about coming out to fairs out here in Republican country, where it smells like victory, and that is you go to the Republican booths you see here, and they're full of volunteers. There's people gathered around. There's people talking. There's signs of life, and and this is very unlike my neighborhood in St. Paul. You walk to the DFL booth, and you could swing a cat by the tail and not hit anybody. There's nobody there. There's one guy standing out front, desultorily talking with someone who just seems relatively disengaged, and it's great to see. It's fun to come out here. It's all I got to say.
I grew up in St. Paul, and I think there's still some hope there. I talk to people and some of my friends from high school, and they have it in their heart and they have it in their mind. They just haven't figured out that Republican follows their views.
Well, have a word with them and get them out to vote for Tony Hernandez here in the fourth. Now we're coming down to the last minute or so. Eric Langness running in District 39 for the GOP endorsement in the primary on the 14th. Let's give us the 30-second elevator pitch, Eric Langness. What's your website for starters?
It's www.eric with a C, Langness, LANGNESS.com. Certainly someone can go on there. I've labeled out a set of issues and positions, but I've got the real experience in jobs, education, and healthcare. And it's important to go to the Senate and be able to not only vote like a conservative, but able to articulate some of those issues and understand the minutiae and detail in it. And I'm ready to do that.
We saw this last session the dire need for people who can not only talk conservatism but stick with it. It's excellent. Eric Langness running in the primary. Best of luck to both of you. It's a coin toss from where I sit. It's an embarrassment of riches, actually. I mean, having two great Republicans to vote for, who will probably go on to win. So best of luck, Eric Langness. When we come back,